On today's episode of Identity, we chat to the inspirational entrepreneur and model Helga Barkhuizen. The members of Side Row show us how they are making a difference in their community. In our What's Happening segment, we review a brain training app. We also review the movie Grace Unplugged. And local pop rock band Furnace plays us out.
I am an individual with an imagination. My inner faith illuminates innovations. In a space with infinite inspiration, I was born free from all incarceration. Incredible, living infallibly, intelligent, outshine with my inner being. This is me, impeccable as ever been. I am you, you are me. This is my identity.
Sekuleso sikhathi sihlala unethedeke sikwetfulele bunanzi bodwa bemizuzu lengemashumi lamathathu luhlelo i-Identity mina eligama ngingumpumi Mbethe. Today is National ADHD Day. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, a neurobiological condition that interferes with one's ability to regulate activity and behavioral levels. This day has been set aside to promote awareness and a better understanding of ADHD, as well as to provide information on this condition's treatment solutions and coping mechanisms. Lithimba le-Identity litimisele kukulethela lwati lelitakhutsata emoyeni, intimbeni kanye nasemphefumulweni. Sisaselapho nje asesimukele sivakashi setfu salomuhla. Lo nobuhle lengihleti naye namhla unetiphiwo letahlukahlukene aphinze abe ngumsunguli wemabhizinisi futhi uyatithandzela nje nempilo. Her first entrepreneurial venture was at the tender age of 13 when she sold delicacies to fund international trips. Today she runs Helga B Holdings, whose portfolio includes more than 5 brands under its umbrella. Whether she's modeling, performing or making a mark in the corporate world, Helga Barkhuizen is certainly a force to be reckoned with. Kepha ngobe vele impilo ita netimo letmatima naye lotsatse use wabukana netimo latasitshela kabandi ngato. Helga, welcome to Identity.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. You're such a bubbly person. Off here we're chatting and I can't imagine what you were like as a kid.
Oh wow, I was an absolute tomboy. I grew up with a bunch of boys. I never did makeup, I never did hair. Anything and everything my heart desired, absolutely. Grew up in the Southern Cape, so bodyboarding, skateboarding, cycling in the mountains. It was fantastic. Yeah, it was absolutely fun. So no, absolutely no sitting down, manners, etiquette, none of that.
International.
Absolute tomboy.
And what about spirituality? Did you grow up in church, going to church a lot, or do you subscribe to a particular faith?
Yes, I'm a Christian and I used to go to Sunday school every Sunday and church, and I used to go to a club called DJ, which in Afrikaans is Denk Jesus, Do Jesus. So it's like Think Jesus, Do Jesus. Jesus. So yeah, no, it was great growing up and knowing that, you know, faith was a big part of that. I mean, my 3 biggest influences in life is Christ and my mom and my dad, and so I spend my time thinking about that. And if they had to be looking down at me, which they are, you know, like what would they think about my actions and what I do every day?
And how has that influenced? I mean, you run a business. How has spirituality and your belief influenced the way you run your business?
Oh wow, we open every morning with scripture and prayer. Everyone that works for me is Christians as well, and you know, it's kind of like when you have something difficult that's on your heart, you can open up and speak about it, or we pray about it. And it's difficult because in a corporate environment you're not usually allowed to include religion. And I put it up front when I interviewed everyone, and they said, you know what, it's actually a great thing to know that that goes hand in hand, that it's not just about money and it's not just about growing as a person in business and like sharing your name, but it's about growing, you know, internally as well.
Speaking of business, you started very early on, at the age of 13 already. Absolutely. I tried a business, but it was just to, you know, get extra pocket money, not fund an international trip. Tell me about that venture.
Okay, so at 13 I was part of a provincial choir, and we had to go to France and England on our first international tour. My parents, however, did not have the funds to send me on this tour just so that I could go and enjoy it. And my mom said, you know what, think a little bit outside the box. You know how to do this. So I bought donuts for 95 cents and I sold them for 2 Rand every break time. And yeah, made a killing.
100% profit.
100% profit, yes. So it was a lot of fun. I could buy everyone presents and bring them back, and so it was my first little venture, and so I got something to show for it. Yeah.
Years later, you become Miss International. Tell me about that experience.
Liberating. It was kind of the close to a long-term modeling career. It was something that I thought, you know, I'm not tall enough to enter Miss SA Universe, but I'm tall enough to enter this competition, and let's give it a bash. It's liberating in the sense that you can choose your platform, you can choose what you're passionate about and who you support, and also it's not a platform where you win a lot of things. So you don't get a car, you don't get a flat, you don't get, you know, the royal status with it. You get a sash and a crown, and you have to work for everything that you want to change.
Helga, you sound very determined, but as we all know, life throws us a curveball every now and then. In 2013, you had an accident. Take me through that time.
Okay, was on my way to holiday, on my way to Cape Town, and we had left early to surprise a friend of mine's parents. So he wanted to knock on the door and go, "Hi, we brought breakfast." And what happened was I had handed him the vehicle about 70 or just about by Beaufort West, and about 70 kilometers past Beaufort West, we had an incident with a truck. We collided with it at 160 kilometers an hour. The reasons given were that there were not enough lights at the intersection, and the truck didn't have enough safety tape on it. Various reasons, you know, the investigation is still going on, but my take on it was that this was definitely one of those things that needed to happen to me. The children on the backseat didn't get hurt, the driver didn't get hurt, I was the only one injured. Yeah, I broke my fibula and my femur, and I shattered my right knee, and my left leg got taken off in the accident. However, the one thing that will always stand out for me is the fact that I prayed as we got in the car. I also closed my eyes because I saw the truck coming closer. So I had been sleeping on the center console. I sat up, and, you know, because he had touched the brakes, I sat up and I saw the truck. It was about 100 meters from collision, and I closed my eyes and I said, you know what, if this is my time, fair enough, go for it, but if it's not, you got to tell me like what's supposed to happen with this. Yeah, and life-changing. And when I opened my eyes, my leg was basically lying on the floor in front of me, which was a switch from knowing that you were perfect 2 seconds ago.
And thinking that you were such a, you mentioned that you surfed. I could imagine, how has that changed your life post the accident?
Post the accident, it's a bit more of an adventure now, because it's a bigger challenge. I've always been one to say that, you know what, you should enjoy your life to the fullest, and if something isn't an adventure, then it's not worth doing it. So now I'm going to do tryouts for the Paralympic swim team, where I used to do long distance swimming on my own, and I can't surf anymore, but I can bodyboard, and I can't skateboard anymore, but I can still cycle. And so there's all these different things that I can do now, and it's different experiences, things that I'd never done before. So it's an all new adventure.
Nothing stopping you.
No, not at all.
We're celebrating 20 years of democracy this year, and you're very passionate about women and children's rights and protection. Where do you think we stand as a country in terms of protecting our women and children?
I think we've got a very long way to go. You know, 38% of kids are raped and abused. 38%, that's like a 40% almost difference in our country from kids that are protected and not. And they're supposed to be our future leaders. Now, the women who are supposed to be protected and said, you know what, you're the loving party, you're supposed to take care of your kids, if they don't even have the strength to give a good example to kids, then what's going to happen to our country? It's one of those things that there are very few people that understand that women have to carry and balance a lot more in life than just the average, you know, run-of-the-mill, I don't want to have kids, or a male out there. Having said that, though, there are as well 17% of males in our country, and you know, is being raped and abused, and men just don't speak out about it. So the figures might actually be exorbitant. Yeah.
All the serious talk, I want to play a word game with you, but I'm listening to you and I can't leave out Yes You Can, the book. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so Yes You Can, my life story, is about taking on like every challenge that you have, every opportunity that you have. My story is about sharing my life experiences and hoping that would inspire people to really take on life and ride it like a bull, rather than saying, you know what, I'm going to sit in the corner, I'm going to be an introvert, I don't really want to be noticed. Why? Speak out. Like, there's no one else like you ever, you know, one person, only you've got your own birth date, your own death date, you know, that's not predetermined like by us. And why not live your life every day that there's no tomorrow?
I'm going to tap into your brain and find out what you would rather be, chocolate or a carrot stick?
Chocolate or carrot? Chocolate.
Facebook account or an Instagram account?
Oh. Facebook.
Barney or Humpty Dumpty?
Humpty Dumpty.
You sit on a wall. Be a star in a musical or a star in a thriller?
Musical.
Be the world's wealthiest or most powerful woman?
Wow, most powerful.
Be Catwoman or Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman.
Be a dog or a fish?
Dog.
Helga, it's been so awesome having you. I love your outlook on life and I hope that you've inspired other young people as well.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure talking to you. Yeah.
Ngiyethemba indzaba ya Helga ikukhuthatile nawe ukuthi ubukane netimo tempilo futhi uphumelele kuko konke. Let's take a short break while you think about how you can discover your purpose. When we come back, we hang out with an organization that is making a difference in the lives of the youth in the formerly crime-ridden Mpumalanga township of Kanyamazane. Ungayinzawo.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Kuthiwa lekusasa lelive lisetandleni tebantfu labasha. Kepha sende njani uma sekude lithemba kubo bona labantfu labasha? What do you get when you put together a group of young people who are determined to make a positive impact in the lives of their peers? Well, you get the South African Youth Dream Revivers Organization, or SIDRO, a youth organization based in the Mpumalanga township of Kanyamazane. We hit the road to find out more about these game changers. Baobab.
This is my identity.
The township of Kanyamazane in Mpumalanga has a reputation of being a rough area where crime, substance abuse and teenage pregnancy are rife. The members of the South African Youth Dream Revivers Organization took it upon themselves to make a difference in the lives of their peers. They provide programs to help steer the youth from the downward spiral that has become the norm.
SIDRO is a South African Youth Dream Revivers Organization. Into inspired the formation of SIDRO ukuthi sebenza kakhulu ngamaphupho wentsha to inspire the youth ukuthi bakhona ukufocus kakhulu kuma dreams wabo and their talents. Thina we push ukuthi bakhona create a living out of those talents. The members of SIDRO, most of them they are church members of Sotho early one. So abantu abasha bahlangana esontweni with the dream of moving South Africa forward and the location forward. So yaqala from esontweni, from there we took it outside silethe emphakathini with the aim of ukuthi sisazoqhubeka sephambili. So the aim of today's event is also youth awareness on substance abuse, drug abuse and alcohol abuse.
Siyacela ukuthi asishowe South Africans, maybe even the world, ukuthi sidume ngani la Kanyamazane.
As Safe Roads for Youth, we are involved in this project because the organization itself works nge youth ya Kanyamazane that prevents alcohol and substance abuse. So being busy ngale project lefana nale ya namuhla, it means we are going to raise awareness go youth ya Kanyamazane ukuthi it is important to interact with other young people Kanyamazane, even to be busy na some of the things like soccer, drama, ama activities la to keepa engqondweni yokuthi usebenzise idzakamiva or utshwala. La sihlala khona community yethu kusetshenziswa kwetidzakamiva utshwala nani sekwanzile labantwana abasanama
tinto tokudlala ama-activities lebajabula ngako seba-understanda ukuthi bona kunatha baye eklabhini bagroove ngiko loku-right so sizama ku-instila sibuyise lesimilo leso ukuthi abantwana bati-understand ukuthi akekho umntwana lo ngenalithalente wonke umntwana unelithalente but kukithi ukuthi si-create le space sokuthi labantwana batati ukuthi bona batowenda ini bendenani.
Peer educator like my peers my drugs and alcohol ukuthi akabi like akufuneki istifake kuwo yabo and so we are ngenda logo through my poems ne drama youth funeka sibatshele yabona like ukuthi sitshelane thina as youth sibonisana indlela like skydane so ngibona ngathi ku important ukuthi ngende logo
to rule your own life because uphethe a rock of a life.
The Sotho organization efisa ukuthuthukisa amathalente wabantu wayise ezingeni eliphezulu so ngibe interested because amathalente wethu besiloko sihleli nawo sazi ukuthi umuntu kufuneka ayegoluza abe right but mina myself I believe ukuthi umntwana ozalwa netalente leli talente uNkulunkulu une purpose ngalo so since ngiqalile ukusebenza nabo hayi kuyasebenzeka nje impela ngifundile nje nezinto eziningi ngifunde nanokuthi ngibe yileader khona ezinye izinto ebengazazi engisifundayo ukuthi ngiyakwazi ukuzenza so kunama talent afihliwe la kimi
inside wangifundise kakhulu ukuthi uma umuntu ne akumelanga like uhlalele italent lakho kube yazi ukuthi kahle kahle you have something you know engqondweni yakho noma something longayishare nalabanye so mina I want to be an inspiration kahle kahle kulabanye abantwana like I want to be a role model nami yabo.
Drowning in for what seems like a little heaven but destroys from within. Ionic as it is, kills but still draws enough attention.
So as a Sotho, we do have a joint venture with churches. We do work with churches as this thing was formed at church. That is where sometimes you get more inspiration from the churches and stuff, from the biblical way, in a biblical way, which senses in
Cindy wakes up, a better face. I was meant to take her to a special place. She was moving too fast and even scared what she did because I couldn't keep up with her pace. She's only 16.
The wishes that we have for the future of Kanyamas and the youth is to see abantu abasha baphumelela, making a success out of their lives by ama-talento wabo and by education, and to get them out of the streets nje ukuthi bayekele izinto efana nama-drugs, alcohol and stuff. Asiphakameni nje sikhona ukuyimela siqhubekele phambili. Like we currently now in South Africa as a youth we are faced with the challenge of unemployment, but I believe ukuthi as singaphakama sicale nje ama-organization, cooperations and sicalele nama-business wethu nani that we can move forward.
This is my identity.
Indeed, an inspiring initiative by a determined group of young people which reaffirms that there is hope for Mzansi's youth. It's time for another ad break, after which we head straight into our What's Happening segment. Today we're reviewing a brain training app as well as a movie that touches on identity and faith.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
You're watching Mzansi's #1 multi-faith youth show, Identity. I'm Bumi Mbete and thank you for staying tuned. Entrepreneur, model and motivational speaker Helga Barkhuizen got the show off to an inspired start, and the members of the Mpumalanga youth organization SADRO showed us how they are making a difference in the lives of other young people in their community. Now it's time to get your smart devices ready for this week's media review segment. It's time for What's Happening. The national exams are just around the corner, and it is always safer to start studying and prepping in advance. Today's app will help you train your brain muscles. It's called Lumosity. Lumosity is a brain training app that is designed by neuroscientists to help train your memory, attention span, and other brain-related skills. Lumosity offers you simple and effective training exercises that will improve your core cognitive abilities. You can create personalized brain exercises by simply choosing which skills you would like to improve on. Once you have chosen the area you want to improve upon, start the game. The app will then test you daily with different brain exercises such as creativity, writing abilities, and memory. The more tests you take, the more intense the challenges get. The game offers a scorecard of your daily performance and lets you follow your progress. Lumosity offers interactive games that are not only challenging but fun as well. If you want to sharpen that grey matter, then download Lumosity today. Now on to our movie review. We are constantly trying to find that one thing that makes us different, and we want to succeed on our terms. Mboniso wanamhla utokusita ukuthi ubone ukuthi ngalesinye isikhathi uyalidzinga lusito lalaba labakuthandzako. It's called Grace Unplugged. Grace Unplugged is a Christian musical drama that looks at some challenges that Christian youth face. The movie is about 18-year-old Grace Rose Trey, a talented singer-songwriter who is living in the shadow of her father, a former rock star who found Christ and subsequently moved his family away from the flashy Hollywood life. Grace and her father have sung together since she was little and have different ideas on how she should sing. One day during worship at church, she decides to add her own touch to a song. This starts the disagreement between her and her father.
He needs to see that I can make it on my own.
Hello? Without warning, Grace leaves home and heads for Hollywood, where she meets up with her dad's former producer, who shoots her straight to stardom. Grace finally starts to live the life she has always desired to live, but all is not as it seems. With fame comes a great price. She feels more and more pressure to compromise her values, further hurting her relationship with her parents. This is a story about finding your own voice and staying true to yourself. If you are looking for a feel-good Christian movie, then Grace Unplugged is perfect for you. You can hire it at your nearest movie store.
I think somewhere deep down, I just never wanted you to grow up.
Siphela njalo salomuhla siqephu se-identity. Sibonge ukuthi ukhethe kuhlala nathi. Let us know which part of the show you enjoy the most, or simply invite us to your neck of the woods to experience your cultural, community, or spiritual story. Remember, it's easy to get in touch with us. All you have to do is send an email to identitytvshow@gmail.com. If you're into social media, then hook up with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Simply search for Identity TV Show on all 3 platforms and connect with us. We're just a click away. Today we play out with the sounds of a new pop rock band called Furnace and their track Save Me. From me, Mpumi Mbete, and the Identity team, have a blessed week. Goodbye.